What if the story you thought you knew flipped upside down? Denise Richards, the Hollywood actress once celebrated for her glamorous roles, shocked fans when she accused her ex-husband, Aaron Phypers, of years of abuse. But now, Aaron is fired back with a bombshell of his own, claiming that she is the abusive one and that the entire domestic violence case is nothing more than a ploy to cut him off from spousal support. This isn't just another messy celebrity breakup. It's a courtroom showdown filled with restraining orders, accusations of harassment, secret trackers, and even OnlyFans drama. And what's coming out of these court filings is far more explosive than anyone expected. But to really understand how things spiraled to this point, we need to go back to where it all began, the marriage that started it all, and the moment it unraveled. Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers tied the knot back in 2018. At first, it looked like the perfect Hollywood pairing. Denise, the established actress with a loyal fan base, and Aaron, the man she described as a rock during some of her toughest times. For years, they seemed inseparable, often spotted together on red carpets and in interviews where Denise spoke about finally finding peace after past heartbreaks. But behind the scenes, cracks were already forming. By July of 2025, the marriage had collapsed, and the court papers painted two very different versions of the same relationship. Denise was the first to make a move, filing for a temporary domestic violence restraining order. In her petition, she described a nightmare marriage, claiming Aaron had repeatedly abused her across their 6 years together. She asked the court to step in with sweeping orders, no contact, mandatory intervention programs, financial coverage for expenses caused by the alleged abuse, and eventually, spousal support. To anyone reading her filing, the picture was clear. Denise saw herself as the victim of years of control and violence. But Aaron Phypers wasn't about to let that version of events go unchallenged. Just weeks later, he responded with a completely different narrative, one that turned Denise's accusations upside down. She asked the court to step in with sweeping orders, no contact, mandatory intervention programs, financial coverage for expenses caused by the alleged abuse, and eventually, spousal support. To anyone reading her filing, the picture was clear. Denise saw herself as the victim of years of control and violence. But Aaron Phypers wasn't about to let that version of events go unchallenged. Just weeks later, he responded with a completely different narrative, one that turned Denise's accusations upside down. And that's where this story takes its most shocking turn. When Aaron Phypers finally filed his response, he didn't just deny Denise Richards' claims. He went on the offensive. According to his court papers, every accusation she made was false, and he made it crystal clear by checking not agree on nearly every order she requested. No contact? Denied. Abuse-related expenses? Denied. Spousal support? Denied. Batterer's intervention program? Absolutely not. In Aaron's version of events, he was never the abuser. He insists that Denise's request for protection isn't about safety at all. It's about money. In his own words, this entire domestic violence case is nothing but a ruse designed to cut him off from spousal support. He even flipped the script, claiming that Denise is the one who should be paying him support because she allegedly blocked him from earning income by keeping his expensive work equipment out of reach. Phypers went further, painting himself as the one under attack. He says he's not a threat to Denise, but instead, she's been the one harassing him. He alleges nonstop calls and messages, not just to him, but even to his father and family members. In fact, he backed it up with screenshots showing dozens of missed calls, sometimes 9 in a single day. To Aaron, that wasn't the behavior of someone living in fear. It was the behavior of someone trying to control the situation. But the denials didn't stop there. Aaron accused Denise of crossing lines in ways that shocked even those close to them, setting up a string of explosive counter-allegations that flipped the spotlight back onto her. Aaron Phypers didn't just say Denise Richards was wrong. He claimed she was the true aggressor. In his filing, he describes a marriage filled with moments where he says Denise crossed the line. He alleges she harassed him constantly, not only with calls and texts, but also by dragging his family into the conflict. He points to records showing multiple days where Denise bombarded him with calls, sometimes 9 in a single evening. To Aaron, this wasn't just persistence, it was harassment. But the claims get darker. Aaron says he discovered an AirTag tracker secretly attached to his vehicle, and when he confronted Denise, she admitted putting it there. To him, this wasn't just invasive, it was a clear sign she was watching his every move. He also claims that Denise physically damaged his property, smashing his phone before burying it in a trash can under piles of garbage. And when he asked about it, he says she lied straight to his face, insisting she hadn't touched it. Perhaps the most shocking allegation came when Denise went to Aaron's home to collect her dogs. According to him, she barged into his brother's private room, searched through his belongings, and even violated his privacy while he was recording the entire incident. Aaron's picture is one of a wife who wasn't scared of him at all, but instead, one who was confrontational, aggressive, and determined to control the narrative. But even that wasn't the end of the accusations. Soon, the fight turned toward money, property, and the battle over who really controlled the assets of their broken marriage. When Denise Richards showed up at Aaron Phypers' home to collect her dogs, it wasn't just about the pets. It became another flashpoint in their collapsing marriage. Court filings reveal that Denise was granted access to one of their shared residences to pick up her personal belongings, her mother's items, and the animal she considered family. But Aaron was ordered to stay 100 yards away, highlighting just how volatile things had become. Aaron, however, claims this wasn't a simple retrieval. He says Denise barged into private spaces, including his brother's room, violating his family's privacy and rifling through personal property. What should have been a straightforward handoff turned into yet another clash. The battle didn't stop with dogs and furniture. Denise accused Aaron of taking her phone and laptop, demanding that the court order him to return them. Aaron denies ever stealing the devices, instead blaming her messy living habits and insisting she simply misplaced them. But he admits to one detail that added even more fuel to the fire. He says he photographed her open computer screen, capturing what he claims were messages about a planned affair. Then came the OnlyFans twist. Aaron insists many of the intimate photos Denise wants back don't even belong to her. He says he was the primary photographer for her account, giving him copyright ownership of the images. To Aaron, the request for their return made no sense, because he was the one who shot them in the first place. By this stage, the divorce was no longer about love lost. It had become a war over property, privacy, and proof. And with both sides digging in deeper, the fight shifted to one of the most explosive issues of all: money. If the property battles weren't enough, the money fight pushed this divorce into overdrive. Denise Richards initially didn't ask for spousal support, but according to Aaron Phypers, she later modified her filing to demand it. To him, that move wasn't about fairness, it was about control. Aaron argues that Denise has deliberately cut him off from his livelihood by refusing to return his expensive equipment, the very tools he says he needs to earn a living. Without them, he claims, his career has been frozen, leaving Denise as the only one with income. And if that's the case, Aaron insists, then she should be the one paying him. In his filing, Aaron doesn't hold back. He calls Denise's request for support ridiculous and claims it's nothing more than a tactic to harass him. Not only does he refuse to pay her expenses, he demands that she cover his instead. That includes legal fees, costs, and the financial burden he says she placed on him by shutting him out of work opportunities. From his perspective, the domestic violence claims are just smoke and mirrors, designed to distract from the real battle: money. In Aaron's words, the restraining order isn't about safety. It's about stopping him from accessing spousal support he believes he's entitled to. But while Aaron frames himself as the one under financial attack, the court isn't simply letting either side have their way. Judges have already issued orders that set strict boundaries, making it clear this fight is only just beginning. So far, the court has tried to draw a line in the sand, but even that hasn't stopped the drama. Denise Richards was granted temporary access to one of the couple's shared residences to retrieve her personal belongings, her mother's items, and the dogs. Meanwhile, Aaron Phypers was ordered to stay at least 100 yards away, reinforcing the court's concern about safety and personal space. Phypers, on the other hand, was permitted to retrieve his own property from their townhouse and office, ensuring he could access the tools he claims are essential for his work. These orders have created a tense balance, with both sides allowed access to their belongings, but under strict conditions meant to prevent further confrontation. The filings and court actions reveal just how complicated the situation has become. This isn't just a divorce. It's a high-stakes legal chess match where each move, from property disputes to harassment claims, can tip the scales in favor of one side. And with both Denise and Aaron digging in, it's clear this story is far from over. But while the court tries to manage the chaos, outside observers and fans are left asking, what really happened behind closed doors? As the legal battle unfolds, fans and insiders are left wondering what comes next. Court hearings are scheduled to review the restraining order, property disputes, and spousal support claims, and each session could dramatically shift the balance in this already explosive case. Online speculation is already running wild. Some fans suggest that Denise's allegations could be part of a strategy to secure more favorable financial terms. Others wonder whether Aaron's claims about harassment and property disputes hint at deeper tensions that have been brewing for years. It's also been said that personal relationships and OnlyFans content might play a role in how the court views ownership of assets. But nothing is confirmed, and these claims remain unverified. Reports claim that both sides are digging in, and legal experts note that battles like this can drag on for months, if not longer, as each side presents evidence and counters the other's claims. And while it's tempting to take sides, the truth may be far more complicated than the headlines suggest. What is clear, though, is that this isn't just a private disagreement. It's a high-profile courtroom drama unfolding in real time, with every filing, screenshot, and claim under the microscope. And what happens next could reshape the public image of both Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers in ways no one anticipated. The battle between Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers is far from a simple celebrity breakup. On one side, Denise paints a picture of abuse and violation. On the other, Aaron insists the narrative is flipped, claiming harassment, property theft, and financial manipulation. Each filing, each court order, and each allegation adds another layer to a story that's already complicated, messy, and highly public. What's certain is that this isn't just about a divorce. It's about control, reputation, and who gets to tell their version of the truth. As the court proceedings continue, fans are left to weigh the claims, the evidence, and the counterclaims, all while the legal system sorts out what's real and what's disputed. In the end, the Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers saga is a stark reminder that in high-profile relationships, the story we see on the surface is often only part of the truth. And while the world watches, one question remains. When the gavel finally falls, who will come out unscathed? And who will face the consequences of a battle that's as personal as it is public?